2021 in Russia began with the warmest winter in 140 years. Last year, Siberia suffered its worst forest fires. In the fall, a toxic algae bloom wiped out 95% of marine life along the Kamchatka coastline. A frozen rainstorm in Vladivostok downed power lines and damaged buildings, leaving thousands without electricity and heating for days. The melting of the Arctic permafrost, droughts on the Russian steppe. The cause? Climate change and Putin's devastating environmental policies. Let's take a look at Russia and climate change. Paris Agreement. Hooray! Vladimir Putin took a detour from signing laws that enrich his circle of friends. For a change, he signed a decree that ordered his government to work towards meeting the 2015 Paris Agreement on climate change. Good job, Putin, right? Well, you gotta remember the one thing Putin is really good at: putting on a show. In reality, Putin's decree actually allowed emissions to rise. Basically, he asked Russia to aim for 30% below 1990 emission levels. Official data shows that Russia was already emitting at 52% of 1990 levels. So now everybody is welcome to emit 20% more. Facepalm of the century. Greenhouse gases. Russia is the 9th biggest country in terms of population. Guess how it ranks in terms of CO2 emissions in 2018? 4th place. That's 4th worst. Why? Because there are no proper laws to regulate emissions. In fact, the last decree that Putin signed allows industry to emit even more. The craziest thing is that Russia has great potential to tap into all renewable energy sources. Hydropower and bioenergy could easily be the main source of Russia's energy system, with proper investment. So that's not happening. On top of that, green energy could significantly contribute to the country's economic growth by increasing employment, diversifying energy, improving energy security, and reducing energy supply costs to the country's most remote regions. Unfortunately, Putin and his circle don't care about the economy, the well-being of Russians, or the environment, let alone the future of the planet. Coal. More and more countries around the globe are declaring their goal to reduce harmful emissions. Even top coal consumers like China and Japan announced that they plan to shut down coal-fired power plants by 2050. That's why Russia, which has become the 3rd largest coal exporter in the past 20 years, is investing billions into the coal industry. What? This doesn't make sense. Countries are planning to get rid of coal, but Putin is preparing for the global return of coal, desperately hoping that renewable energy sources will stumble and fall. In his wild, delusional future, Putin thinks that Russia will become the only seller of coal. What a win! It's just another example of how Putin belongs to the past. The past of czars, coal, wood, isolationism, and poverty. That's how he sees the future of Russia. Melting permafrost. Almost a year ago, one of Russia's biggest mining companies, Norilsk Nickels, spilled almost 21,000 tons of diesel into the rivers and subsoil of Siberia. This was one of the country's worst environmental disasters in the Arctic. One of the likely reasons for the disaster is the continuous melting of Russia's permafrost. There's a clear trend. Each 5-year period is warmer than the previous, and Russia is warming faster than almost any other country in the world. The projected increase of permafrost melting by 2030 will make the ground and foundations on which the mining industry is built less stable at best and dangerous at worst. The permafrost zone currently hosts a large number of buildings, oil storage facilities, gas and oil pipelines, and even nuclear reactors. Right now, due to the thawing and degradation of permafrost soils in the oil fields of Western Siberia, there are, on average, about 7,400 accidents per year. Scientists warn that 45% of oil and gas fields in the Russian Arctic are in the high-risk zone. where the depleting permafrost could cause serious damage to national infrastructure. Russia faces a difficult problem. It has to lower emissions over the long term and fix its dangerously fragile infrastructure now. Who in Russia is up to the task?